Jimbo's Garage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the shop. Well, I got a short little video for you here today. For you, my regular viewers know that I do a lot of metal fabrication and a lot of grinding with flap discs. Now, there's a lot of different varieties of flap discs out there. Mercer and Champion Cutting Tools, a long-time supporter of the channel here, and I use their line of abrasives. And in their line of abrasives, they have what's called the trimmable flap disc. And that is what's getting a lot of comments in the comment section, because I've referred to the trimmable flap disc in some of my videos. What that is basically you're able to trim the back off of this flap disc and actually gain up to a 1/4 to 3/8 more space on the flap disc. And I'm going to bring you in here a little bit. We're going to take a look at these flap discs. I'm going to show you one that's brand new, and I'm going to show you some that are used, and then I'll show you how to sharpen them. Today's video is sponsored by King Metals. They've got all your fabrication needs in one location. From hinges to hardware, balusters to metal decor, brass to aluminum, and a whole lot more. You name it, they've got it. Check them out today at kingmetals.com. Now let's get back to today's video. All right, so their line, like I said, trimmable flap disc consists of two. They've got a ceramic flap disc and they've got a zirconia flap disc here. They're both similar in many ways. The zirconia, it may be for more stainless steel, ferrous, non-ferrous type metals. This is more of the same, but maybe for some polishing and carbon steel and stuff like that. So the ceramic is red, the zirconia is blue, and this is what they look like. So on the back side right here, there is a perforation around the outside of the housing of the flap disc, and that's called the trim line. So basically, you can trim up to this line right here by removing some plastic from here down to here. And what that does is it allows you to use more of the flap disc here. Here's an example of one that's kind of wore out. You can see that I've taken it all the way down to the plastic right here. And in most cases on standard flap disc, you would probably call this done and probably throw it away. But in this case, we can trim off a little bit of the housing here, and then we can utilize more of the flap disc. And that's the same with this one right here. It's wore completely down. We'll trim these back and we'll be able to utilize more of the flap disc here. Just makes them last a little bit longer. All right, there you go. So let me demonstrate how we're going to trim these back. All right, so it can be any sharp piece of flat metal. Now, I happen to have this piece of 5/8 flat bar stock lying around, but it can be anything. And what you want to do is you'll want to fasten it to your welding table or the surface that you're working from. Whether it be a metal table or whatever, just clamp it down so it's a nice solid surface. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take turn the grinder on, and we're going to bring it up against the bottom of this sharp edge, and it's going to cut away this plastic down. I'll probably go about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 3/16, and that should be enough. And then we'll have a nice flat edge to work with right here. So let me demonstrate that. All right, so we've trimmed this back, and now we're able to use at least maybe 3/16 more here, and then I got more trimmable space, and you can even cut it back further if you like. I usually like cutting it back about 1/8 to 3/16, and then I'm good with that, because if you cut it back all the way back, you're going to end up with just a real small part of the wheel left, and I found that to be difficult to use the wheel at that point. But once cut back like this, you can still get some more use out of it. And I think that works out pretty good. Okay, so this one right here is a good example. You can see that we've lost some of the abrasive here. We have some of it on here, and we're up against the housing right here as well. And so this is a good example of trimming it a little bit differently, and I'm going to bring it up against the sharp edge of this metal right here and just cut back this plastic, and it'll be nice and even all the way around, and we'll have a nice we'll be able to have a nice reusable surface on this flap disc. All right, you can see I've gone around and I've trimmed this thing all the way around. That's cleaned up that edge. I've removed about 1/8 of an inch of the housing right here. And you can see that we've got a nice even portion of the flap disc, reusable surface again. All right, so I hope that answers some of your questions regarding the trimmable flap disc. Now, you know, whatever flap disc you use, there are only a few people out there that have the trimmable ones. These might be a little bit more pricier than your average flap disc, but you're getting twice, sometimes 3 times the life out of it once they're trimmed. Good product. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.